In this video, we'll be discussing receiving material purchase orders business cycle. And as the first transaction that you do in this business cycle is actually creating a shipment, if applicable, in case if you're receiving the raw materials from overseas, for example. As a preparation for the receiving, or what happens really in business life is that your broker or your freight forwarder is going to send you a packing list with all raw materials that are coming, from your overseas orders. And in order to register this shipment in transit transactions, we need to create a shipment. In order to create a shipment, we need to be in the transaction section and in the materials part. Then I double click on material PO shipment icon, and this is the screen that we get. Like all other transactions, in order to create a new one, I will click on add, and this is one of the transactions on the system that Aria requires that the user actually enters a transaction number, very similar to what we did at the time of creating the shipment in transit for finished goods purchase orders. Most of the customer would use probably the last few letters or the last few numbers on the packing list ID number from the freight forwarder, or they can use, for example, the container number or any kind of internal sequential number that makes sense to the business. So just using this number as an example. As you can see, the screen is divided into two parts, header and details. Right now we are in the header section, and this is just simply you will be able to enter some general information about the shipment itself. As an example, how many cartons, how are they shipped, and of course you have multiple choices over here, and you can always add to this on the system manager. So if they are, for example, a shipment or advised number, then we have 5 different dates on the right hand side. The date the shipment is entered, ETA date at at the borders, then customs clearance date, then trucker pickup and delivery to the warehouse date. Aria uses this ETA date in order to kind of estimate and calculate your open to sell. So when we create the open to sell, when we calculate the open to sell for the style numbers, we check on the purchase orders for each style number, and we pick up the completion date from there. And if there is a shipment related to that purchase order, we disregard the date on the PO, and we use the ETA date on the shipment. So this is an important date. Be careful when you do the data entry. And this is some other informative information, like it's going to clear the custom 2 days after, so it's going to be the 15th, for example. And trucker is going to pick it up on the same date, and it's going to be available in the warehouse 1 day after. Then I have the airway bill number or container number. The airline or the vessel, United Airlines, for example, reference number, any kind of references, like and any kind of general notes. Then we will move to the details section in order to start entering the actual POs on that shipment. So I'm going to use my mouse and click on new. It's going to ask me for the purchase order number. If you remember, of course, you can type it in. If not, you can always select from the list. Once you highlight your purchase order and you press enter to select, the system is going to display for you all raw material lines on that PO. If you are planning, or if it happens that you're going to receive everything, you just simply click on select all, or you can select 1 or 2, or like that. Notice that the system is not going to allow you to change the quantities over here on this part, but once you click OK, system is going to display for you the ordered quantity, and you can, even if there is a partial receiving on one of the lines, you can do the changes over here. Warning message, you can click on yes, and I'm going to do the same thing again, and I can insert a different PO number. So this is 070015. Let's say that we're receiving 00716. And once I do this, I have those style numbers. I'm receiving all of those. Oh, I'm sorry, those raw material numbers. As you can see, we're mixing different PO numbers on the same screen, on the same shipment, right? And they are coming from the same vendor, but you still can click on new, select to receive also a new PO from a completely different supplier with different items, since they're probably coming from the same origins. If you would like to remove anything, you can just simply highlight the line and click on remove. Or if you would like to edit any of the contents or any of the qualities on any of the lines, you can simply highlight it and do the changes over here. Once done, you need to click on the save button to save it, and shipment is saved. At any time, you can of course come back again to the same screen and put a question mark. Here is the shipment that we just entered. If for any reason, first before I say this, notice that the status is open, and of course once it is received, it turns into complete. If for any reason you would like to do any kind of adjustment or changes, you will need to click on the edit button and do any kind of changes you need, whether on the details section or the header section. And of course, don't forget to save. And if it happened that you would like to remove the shipment or delete the shipment, you will use this button, and Aria will tell you, are you sure you want to cancel? You say yes, and we're done. The status, of course, on this shipment is now